Is progress actually being made when it comes to the improvement of Zebec? Well, not in terms of the price, I think, as of late, but I think in terms of one of their key recent product launches. And I'll discuss this in today's video, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, just my perspective, review, and nothing I say is financial advice. So remember not too long ago when Zebec launched the mobile version of the Super App? Well, I do, because it happened just back in July, but so far we've seen some decent, I think, hypothetical progress because Zebec recently announced how their super app, in terms of the mobile version, has been spanning across some of the world's largest markets. This is what they said. Now, the largest market so far, according to them, is the United States. That's number one. Number two is the UK, the United Kingdom. Number three, they say, is Canada. Number four, they say, is Australia. And number five is Germany. Now, I think this showcases a pretty impressive feat in terms of Zebec, just because it showcases that despite the recent launch of the mobile version of the Super App, the reach has already been quite global, right? Because if we take a look at Simon, who is the CEO of Zebec, he primarily, to my understanding, spends a lot of his time in London, in England. So a lot of people thought initially, okay, Zebec, it has offices in San Francisco, New York, and London. They thought, okay, is it only going to reach a market like the UK and the US? Well, as of right now, it's kind of debunked that myth a little bit where we do see it have more of a global approach, right? Again, we see Canada there in terms of its top markets. We take a look at Australia and Germany. And I thought this was really cool because I have a lot of cousins who live in Calgary, which is in Alberta. That's where Bret Hart is from, by the way, the wrestler. And if we take a look at Australia, I've been there so many times, primarily going to Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, and all this. But yeah, besides that point, I also take a look at Germany. I've been there twice, so I thought it was pretty cool seeing this when it comes to the mobile version of the Super App. So a lot of people thought, oh, is it going to be a flop and all this? Well, it doesn't necessarily seem like that, to me at least, just because the reach, again, has been quite global. And then also on top of that, we've seen some pretty impressive numbers. I already made a video about more of the specifics in my most previous Zebec video, but I think it kind of relates to this video, so I'm just going to kind of highlight that real quick again. Like, for instance, there has already been over 4,000 cards that has been issued. Keep in mind, this is just like ever since July. This is not talking about, oh, this was launched like a year ago. No, that's not the case. The mobile version of the Super App literally launched back in July, and there was already 4,000 approximate cards that have been issued. And the monthly volume for those cards was like almost $6 million. So again, that's quite impressive considering just how soon it was able to achieve this. Now, we take a look at how, again, I already mentioned this in my previous video, but I'm going to mention this. There has been almost 600 million Zebec that has been locked up through the mobile version of the Super App so far, which represents like around 0.6% of the total supply when it comes to Zebec. So again, when people told me that the mobile version of the Super App was going to be a flop, I often said, wait, hold up, we don't really know, right? Because they said this like quite soon, especially when it first launched. I was like, how do we know that? We haven't even seen the results. So when they posted the numbers, I think it kind of debunked a little bit of the misconceptions, because now that we're beginning to see, these type of figures, I think it kind of showcases that, what, even launching in 2026, the numbers don't really look so bad, right? I mean, had this happened during a time when the market was doing so good, this would already seem quite impressive as is, but we're seeing it in 2026 when the market isn't doing the best. So yeah, I just thought that was quite impressive given at a time like right now. And again, kind of showcasing its global reach when it comes to the mobile version. I thought it was pretty cool. And I felt like making a video on it naturally just because I am a fan when it comes to Zebec. Now, people like to say, well, if this is all going on when it comes to Zebec, why is the price not doing good? But my kind of response is, if let's say something that I did really like let's say I liked a pair of shoes, right? And I really, really liked it, and let's say it had a discount. Would I complain? Now, if I like the shoe, then I wouldn't complain, right? I'd be like, okay, something that I like went down in terms of the price. Am I going to complain about that? Like, would I complain about something having a discount in real life? I don't think I would. Now, it's a little bit different when it comes to this case, and I'm not saying it has anything to do with this space. Again, this is just what I would, react to if I saw a discount in real life. But when it comes to this space, again, I am a fan of some projects, Zebec included. in terms of what I'm a fan of, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But if anything, I'm seeing it improve, yet the charts are lower. I don't know if I'd complain about that personally, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. It's to the point where going back to its peak last year is around a 3 times movement from right now. Okay, sure, it may not be considered the most impressive thing ever, but sometimes I like to ask myself, if Bitcoin went back to its peak last year, what is it? Around a 2 times movement. This is around 3 times. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and there's no telling if it could even do that again, but we've seen it before, and Zebec wasn't even as good back then fundamentally when compared to right now. I didn't see the super app at all last year. I really didn't, because they even launched the desktop version kind of earlier on this year, and the mobile version, of course, we saw it launch back in July. So it's not like we saw this back in 2025. We've heard talks about it, like, some rumors about when it was going to come and all this, but we didn't really see it launch at all in 2025. So in 2026, Zebec improved a lot. Last year, there was no Stellar and Ripple partnership in a direct sense, right? Because this year, Zebec announced a partnership with Ripple and Stellar, like a literal partnership. Like, we didn't see that back in 2025. We see it now, though. So again, Zebec, I think it's way better right now than before, because a lot of people told me back then in 2025, they said that if Zebec was able to have a partnership with not only Stellar, but as well as Ripple, and then at the same time launch the super app, they thought, you know what, it's going to be game set match. They thought it was going to be the end game when it comes to Zebec, because a lot of people thought, well, how can it improve beyond that? A lot of people told me that. And they thought that, wow, if Zebec could only do that, it would feel so complete. But now, a lot of the people that told me that kind of wished for that to happen, are now saying, wow, Zebec feels so cooked and all this. Wait, hold up, right? So they're telling me all the things they wanted to happen actually did occur fundamentally, and now they're saying that this project is cooked just because it's lower than before, but then the fundamentals improved. It doesn't really make sense to me, because imagine, right? If, let's say, I felt like, wow, if I only got that bicycle, or if only I got that G-Shock, I would be so happy and all this. If I felt like that and I actually did get it, and suddenly I was like, oh, no, 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 I don't feel happy or whatever, how does that make sense? You know what I mean? It's like, if, let's say, my dream watch, I finally got it, which, a G-Shock is my dream watch, by the way. I think it's like the best watch ever, personally, for me. Would it make sense for me to complain? No, because I really like it. Like, in a sense where some people really wanted the fundamentals of Zebec to be that specific way, and it did happen, and some of them are complaining. It doesn't make sense to me. And if anything, right, those fundamentals did happen, yet the charts are lower, which I don't mind, personally, for dollar cost averaging reasons. But you know what? I'm only doing it once a month anyways in terms of dollar cost averaging. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, though. But again, seeing that recent update when it comes to Zebec, I was pretty surprised. Now, when is this going to recover? I have zero idea. And even if it could, I have no idea either. Like, the only thing I can do is just wait. That's it. But, I don't mind waiting anyways. And in the meantime, seeing updates like this, I am quite happy to see them. But again, when are the charts going to recover and all this? That remains to be seen. But I'm just waiting anyways. So yeah, I'll keep everyone updated as to what I'm doing. And again, seeing this recent update, I thought it was pretty cool. However, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very wonderful day. It's Willie the Captain.